Publisher's Preface. The classic books in the Bookstream series are unedited and read exactly from the text as originally written by their authors and have been set in their own situations and their own times. Therefore, some words and phrases may seem out of place or almost offensive today. Fortunately, though, language changes as do customs and political regimes, and so we trust that you, the listener, will understand all the language and contents of these books in the sense and setting in which they were first put to paper. Thank you. The Sleeper Awakes by H.G. Wells. Narrated by Brian Godwin. Preface to the new edition. When The Sleeper Wakes, whose title I have now altered to The Sleeper Awakes, was first published as a book in 1899 after a serial appearance in The Graphic and one or two American and colonial periodicals, it is one of the most ambitious and least satisfactory of my books, and I have taken the opportunity afforded by this reprinting to make a number of excisions and alterations. Like most of my earlier work, it was written under considerable pressure. There are marks of haste not only in the writing of the latter part, but in the very construction of the story, except for certain streaks of a slovenliness, which seems to be an almost unavoidable defect in me. There is little to be ashamed of in the writing of the opening portion, but it would be fairly manifest to the critic that instead of being put aside and thought over through a leisurely interlude, the ill-conceived latter part was pushed to its end. I was at that time overworked and badly in need of a holiday. In addition to various necessary journalistic tasks, I had in hand another book, Love and Mrs. Lewisham, which had taken a very much stronger hold upon my affections than this present story. My circumstances demanded that one or other should be finished before I took any rest, and so I wound up The Sleeper sufficiently to make it a marketable work, hoping to be able to revise it before the book printers at any rate got hold of it. But fortune was against me. I came back to England from Italy, only to fall dangerously ill, and I still remember the impotent rage and strain of my attempt to put some sort of finish to my story of Mr. Lewisham, with my temperature at 102. I couldn't endure the thought of leaving that book a fragment. I did afterwards contrive to save it from the consequences of that febrile spurt. Love and Mr. Lewisham is indeed one of my most carefully balanced books, but The Sleeper escaped me. It is 12 years now since The Sleeper was written, and that young man of 31 is already too remote for me to attempt any very drastic reconstruction of his work. I have played now merely the part of an editorial elder brother, cut out relentlessly a number of long, tiresome passages that showed all too plainly the fagged, toiling brain, the heavy, sluggish-driven pen, and straightened out certain indecisions at the end. Except for that,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?